Good morning, Nigeria, and happy Tuesday. Usually, Tuesdays aren't even as tense as Mondays. The rush has calmed down a bit. People are trying to settle into the week. Some, you're trying to find your rhythm and trying to get your minds together. So, wherever you are, getting ready for work, whether you're stuck in traffic or you're just even warming up for the day, welcome to Ways Breakfast. This is where we get you engaged, we keep you informed, and we keep you connected. But this Tuesday carries its own kind of weight. Doctors have been on strike, and while we spend so much time talking about insecurity in this country, our healthcare system is quietly battling a crisis of its own. Strikes that keep resurfacing, negligence in some hospitals. Let's not even talk about the service charges that keep rising. It is really becoming harder for people to stay healthy or even get help when they need it the most. And that is what we are diving into this morning. The triple crisis shaking Nigeria's healthcare system. My name is Triumph Akimboye, and I am going to be doing this morning with Goodness Ideye. It's been a while, so let's get to meet with Goodness. Good morning, Goodness.
Good morning,
How
Triumph.
are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I have not seen you in a while.
I have not seen you in a while, too.
What have you been
We
up
both have not
to?
seen each other for a while.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
No, so many things. You
Oh.
don't want to know.
A shame money woman. I'm sure it's all about the money.
No, everything is not about money, alright? There are so many things, you could want to do that might not fetch you money, but the knowledge and what you'll be getting can't be compared. It's not something that money can buy, though.
That's good. It's good to hear from
So
you.
how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. I mean, I received one of the shocks of my life over the weekend. I went home for the weekend, and then by the time I got home, I was, because usually there's
traveled to
always
Kwara?
No, not Kwara, not Kwara home. Usually there is always power at home. There's always power. You hear things like there's always power at home. So by the time I got home, I didn't even pay attention to maybe trying to charge my gadgets, any of my gadgets or something like that. So I was just there, just enjoying myself, because I believe, or not I believe, I know that they don't just take power anyhow, because this is where, I have always stayed. So only for, that to get back, and then he faced me and said that right now, they are no longer in band A, that we are now in what? Band C.
Wow.
By the time I heard it, I said,
What area is that?
Around Ogba,
Okay.
Ogba area. I'm like, what kind of downgrade, what level of downgrade is this? Because you just brought us from band A straight to band C. That it was like, that this one is even better. That before you usually spend, maybe 20,000 weekly on electricity. Because usually whenever that we are asking that, what did you do? What did you charge? Why is the power like this? And then you don't even get to turn on the lights the way you want. It was when I got to this Lagos that I realized that Lagos residents don't like turning on the lights, because they are band A people, aside maybe in the nights, and then they also use all that things. So I really, I don't know if to be happy that we downgraded to band C, when, Daddy said that it's okay. Now I have to pay only 5,000 naira. Only 5,000 naira for power. So it's quite interesting. I mean, this is the first time that I'm experiencing actually downgrading from band A to band C, and it's like the whole community. I was told that it's not even something you can decide on your own. It would not just be your own block. It's going to be like a community thing.
Yes.
So I don't know why they decided to downgrade.
Recently they discovered that some people have been bypassing and not being able to even pay for point, because they're already getting electricity in an illegal way. I think that's one of the reasons why they had to cut down your area to Bansi, sorry.
Anyway, so we are now on Bansi. Right now, I just have to be planning myself whenever I go home that it's time. But once you see lights, you just charge your phone very well. But this kind of lights now, the reason why I love it is that I can turn on the fan anytime. I can use any gadget, anything, because it's Bansi.
VAT charges and everything will be the same as for band A. So
that's all on our banter for now. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we are going to get into the newspaper review for this morning. We'll be scanning through the pages of top newspaper, not me alone, with Goodness too. We will be right back. Please stay with us.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Welcome back. It is time for us to dive into the latest news and the current event. So much is going on in Nigeria. You're waking up, there is so much to talk about, and we're about to keep you abreast to what is really, really happening. So we are going to be scanning the pages of top newspapers. We'll start with the Tribune, and Goodness Ideye is going to be taking us through.
All right, now let's look at the Tribune newspaper this morning. Started with the first story that says UK rejects Nigerians' request to transfer Ekweremadu back home to serve prison term. Besides that, we have Atiku formally joins ADC as Obi keeps party on edge. As well, HID Awolowo Foundation hybrid lecture holds today, and the Nigerian Tribune leads with the story regarding insecurity that says Southwest governors advocate enhanced forest surveillance. We have a writer that says wants federal government to deploy forest guards across region. Another to set up regional security fund, intelligence sharing system, and as well demand state police now express concern on unregulated interstate migration. So that story is on page 4. You want to read further. We have another story that says infrastructure takes lead as Makinde proposes 891.99 billion naira appropriation bill for 2016. And a writer that as well says pledges fair, humane approach to secular road issue, vows compensation and resettlement options. Also, we have regarding health, new research confirms HPV, I think they want to write not HIPV, that was a mistake. Vaccination prevents cervical cancer. And we have NNPCL declares 5.4 trillion naira profit after tax for 2024. Now, looking at the first story that says UK turns down federal government's bid to have Ekweremadu transferred to Nigeria. I feel personally this is a good one, because most times when they tend to bring them to Nigeria, Nigeria is so fond of probably reducing their jail or prison number of terms, and as well maybe giving them an ambassador of this one might be ambassador of not harvesting organs. But at least in the real sense, they need to really face these consequences, not just getting pardon or reduction in number of prison terms they need to serve. So the United Kingdom has rejected a request from the Nigerian government to have the former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu returned home to serve the remainder of his sentence for organ trafficking. The 63 years old former lawmaker is serving 9 years and 8 months in a UK prison after he was convicted in 2023 of conspiring to exploit a young man for his kidney. Remember this story that was all in the internet at that point, where his daughter needed like an his daughter needed an organ transplant. Then there was like an helper in the house that was a male, that they had already signed a contract, which even the boy doesn't even really know everything on that paper. And when they took all of them traveled abroad to carry out the arrangement, I'm so happy that the UK government had to interfere, and now he has to face the consequences. But now Nigeria are requesting, that they should bring about for him to serve, which I know that is really not going to serve the entire term. So it is very
I usually like the fact that when we do certain things, when we commit certain crimes that we can get away with in the country, I like the fact that when we try those things in some other countries, it doesn't end the same way, because you will sleep in jail. I mean, some of the people that have traveled abroad, you know, the Jackma, you will see that many of them sometimes get into some crimes. I don't know if you hear it a lot. Some of them get into some crimes and they are locked, they are jailed. You will serve your term. There is nothing like maybe after I love you. I just really love the fact that, you know, when you are in another man's state and you don't behave yourself, you are going to be sued for it. You are going to serve your term in jail for it.
Because their law is not like Nigerians' law that gives pardon or favoritism to people that probably might have power or have influence to manipulate the exact punishment. And I also want to bring out this. There was a time the senators agreed that whoever had gone out in diaspora to label Nigeria in a negative way will be banned for so number of terms from traveling out. I don't know if this is also going to take effect for Ekweremadu, because this is also a very big one.
You're not supposed to travel anyway. You stay wherever it is that it, you know, wherever it is that they've placed you.
So let's look away from that. Let's look at the other story, an interesting story, and a new discovery in the health area that says new research confirms HPV vaccination prevents cervical cancer. The full meaning of HPV is human papilloma virus, and I think I got to know that some years back, and there's a vaccination for it. But now new findings have discovered that it can help to prevent cervical cancer and precancerous alterations, particularly when administered to young people before their exposure to the virus, according to two recent evaluations. I don't want to publicly mention this, but when I was in school, in Uniben, University of Benin, so we had to go to the center, the school health center, and we had to just take some vaccinations, and this was part of it. So I'm really kudos to those that have brought out these findings, that even this HPV vaccination could also do more regarding our health. And it had been published in the Cochrane database of systematic reviews that found out that these HPV vaccines were effective in preventing infection. So it's not like a say or a permutation. Now, it has been something that they've used and they've seen the effect, and it has led to can lead to cancer and other HPV-related conditions. So preventing infections that can lead to cancer with no evidence of serious safety concerns. What do you have to say regarding this?
I mean, Goodness Today is always taking us through the health, you know, the health part. Even if we've forgotten about the health part, I love how you're always bringing us back that let's talk about our health. So I really love the fact that we are paying attention. There are quite a number of illnesses that I see online these days that before we don't used to talk about those things before, and people randomly just create, you know, content or even accept the tag that these are the things that they're suffering from, and then, you know, go about with it. But getting vaccinated is something that should be done. I mean, I have quite a number of vaccines that I'm supposed to also get, which I haven't, but it's really great to hear. So thank you for always reminding us about our health. Now let's take a look at what is making headline in the front page of the Daily Trust News. So the screaming headline in respect to insecurity, to the state of insecurity in our nation. The Kebbi State governor has come out to say that military's approach to insecurity is not working. Right to this story, amnesty, abductions threaten education in North. Let me just go, further into the story before I just continue with the stories that we're having. Now, the Kebbi State governor has come out to say that the approach of the military, the approach that they used to deploy or that they're using is actually not working for them. If you remember that it actually started with them. After them, we had the one that happened in Kwara State, and then we had the one that happened in Niger State. However, until now, we have not really been able to get the Kebbi State. In fact, some of the victims from the Niger abduction have been released, but the Kebbi State, the abduction in Kebbi State, we've not really been able to do so much about it. So the Kebbi State governor coming out to, talk about the fact that the military government and the federal government is not doing so much. And if you recall that when that incident happened, they actually, I think they heard about it or they knew that it was going to happen. So they deployed security personnel. They asked them to deploy security personnel to this very school that we are talking about. However, as soon as these people left, that's the security personnel, that was when the abduction happened. So now the Kebbi State government is, is crying. I don't want to use the word crying. He's not even clamoring. Okay. He's saying that he regrets that he actually listened to them, that he should have just shut down the school. At least if all students go home, if every one of them, they are at the above of their parents, maybe this would not have happened. Maybe we might not really be talking about this. So that is what is coming out to complain. And I also saw it in the news that other schools in the northern areas are beginning to shut down. Schools are beginning to shut down. Even in this other part, there are quite a number of schools. In Kwara State, for example, around the Iroko area, there were schools that had to shut down because of the state of insecurity. So I really want the federal government to help Kebbi State. Let's get these people back. Let's get these people back. And for every other person that is still abducted in Niger State, let's get all these people back so that everybody would really, really be glad that at the end of the day, the security of our lives is what is like the most important thing. But I don't really know. I don't want to say that the government is not working because we have seen the results. However, we are not supposed to quiet down with our voices.
At the same time, too, even if we get them back, does that guarantee that they can also be captivated back? Because it's more like a back and forth issue, right? They get captivated, they get released, they get captivated, abducted again. So the issue is, at this moment, the people that were even released, what was the news behind the people that the abductors, right? The perpetrators. What have they done to them? We don't even have any single person that we could even use as a scapegoat. So that's even the basic issue. If they are being released, what's going to happen in the next 1 hour, in the next 2 hours? I even saw a viral video where they said they need their own, like an allocation when it comes to revenue allocation, when it comes to the Senate. Every year they do this annually budget and everything, that they need their own allocation, their own resources. I was now beginning to wonder from where to where, because I don't understand. And the same, there are so many controversies about it. Even former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, he had also made mention of a statement during the Jonathan regime and the Buhari regime, how they brought some people, how there was allegedly how they brought some people during the election that, oh, if Social Party does not win, this set of people that have been harmed will now come and take. So many controversies online. And when all those statements were made, there was really no action taken towards that, right? Because I saw a video. I don't know if you saw the video. I don't know if you saw the type of is it car, will I call it now?
That these people
this armored truck.
I saw it.
Very heavy. It was even more better than even the ones that our own military personnel even do have. So where are they getting these ammunitions from? Where are they getting these resources from? Meaning somebody somewhere, let's say peradventure in the government, is funding them to get this. And in the long run, we've seen one of the soldiers that came out to say that most of their weapons are not even functioning well. You can't give me a Takara gun and say I want to come and face people that on just 1 second, they've already sprayed a lot of people. How do I want to come?
I mean,
How
this
do I
is
even
one
want
thing
to
that we've been
challenge them?
talking about since last week. This particular, you know, what you just said is what we've been talking about since last week, you know, all through the program. In fact, yesterday we dedicated the whole program to really talk about all of this. But one thing that I really want to add, I was watching an interview on Arise News yesterday, and they came out to say that people are asking that these people, what really happened? You're just coming out to say that people have been released. What happened? How did you, and that was what I was also asking yesterday, how did you release them? Who released them? What did you use to get them? What happened? Did anything break out? Was there a war? Was there a fight? Was there a gentle negotiation? And then it was really saying that they deployed. If you see the way they said it, you would think it was a very simple process. And
cooked story.
If I begin to feel like it was a simple process, then I am supposed to start asking the question that they did not actually mention that whether they paid some ransom or not. But the way you're talking, I was reading the report. He said we deployed the military, and when we deployed them, we spoke to them, and when we spoke to them, we were able to get the people back. I'm wondering
during the discussion, during the spoken, I know there's no word like that, but during the discussion, what had happened? What was the agreement? Because you can't have a discussion with the opposition.
They're not going to tell us, because that's what we are all asking for.
Balance, striking a balance in between. I just feel that the government they really know what is going on in this country, and that's why most of them have been silent about this issue, because it's not affecting them, right? I mean, all their houses are all guarded with soldiers and even security forces. So nothing is going to happen to any of them, even their families also. It's the common Nigerians that are going to receive this.
We are still open to actually hear more about the details of how these people, and also how the Kebbi states, how the ones that were kidnapped in Kebbi State, how they will be released. We are still open, and the remaining people in Niger State, when are we going to be getting them back? How are we going to be getting them back? And most importantly, how are we going to pin down these perpetrators, the perpetrators of this crime? And how do we bring their system down? Because it is not just one person. It is not just the Kano State Association of Abductors. We have the Kebbi State Association of Abductors. We have seen the Kwara State Association of Abductors. How are we going to get down to the system of these abductors? That's the most important question. So let me get into, we'll move away from there, and let's get into the next thing I want to talk about on the front page of the Daily Trust. I also saw this story. I did not know that it was even going to appear in the front page of the Daily Trust, where the police has banned the sale of firecrackers ahead of Ember Month festivities. We have above that, ground rent defaulters risk losing properties from Wednesday. Wike ones. I'm not expected to be saying all this in the front page of the news, but let me just let it go. I don't want to talk about Wike again this morning. And time for state police is now. This is coming from Southwest governors. Let me just touch briefly on that. These people that are clamoring for state police, I think this is a very good opportunity for them to say that they want the state police, even though they've not been getting it. Now give us the state police for security purposes. But my point is that, are we going to do what we said we are going to do if we give you the state police? Would we actually see it in effect? I mean, the president already deployed some of these agencies yesterday, that they should actually stop protecting these our so-called VIPs, but they should start protecting people. So let's see how that plays out. Then a sad story: wife allegedly stabs husband to death 3 days after wedding. Very sad. Very, very sad. I really don't like seeing this type of stories on the front page. Now let's get into police ban sale of firecrackers ahead of Ember Month festivities. This is a very funny one, because I saw a video on TikTok. The lady, they were throwing, let me use the word we use as Nigerians, you know, they were doing the knockouts, bangers. And then the lady was making a video. She was saying, it's like we are playing in this country. I don't want to hear one banger and everywhere will explode. You know, nothing is happening, but please, let's be guided in this country. So I love the fact that they are now coming out to say that they are going to ban the sale of these things, because we cannot have the state of insecurity and the next thing I'm hearing is pa, pa, pa. Before you know it, especially if you are close to some of these states that are most affected, let's not even play with certain things.
Cause panic attack for some people.
Let's not play with certain things, honestly. Let's not play with this kind of things. So people should watch their words, because sometimes it's not even the adults that do these things, but kids. Watch your word, watch the things that they are buying. Don't let them throw knockout. I understand that, this is Ember Month. We should even start celebrating Christmas and all of that, but the state of the nation is quite serious right now. So we should really reduce the rate of these firecrackers.
I totally don't even believe that Nigeria will even abide by that.
The firecrackers.
Yes, because how well can they crack down into those local constituencies to get that? I mean, even some people have even started throwing out the firecrackers already. So how are they going to? Will they go into one particular street, one local street, to go and get one woman selling firecrackers? So I just really feel that most times when they give laws like that, it shouldn't just be by words or on paper, but it should be real enforcement in it. Send them out into those local places, let them get it done, not just coming online to see, because I'm still so certain come December 31st to January 1st you will see the sky with many beautiful colors. So I really don't think that is going to be very effective. Even our law enforcement isn't that strict enough.
So let's see how it goes, but please, especially the local knockouts, that one you will buy for maybe 100 naira or 200 naira.
For sure.
Please, I don't want to be hearing pak. That thing even scares me. So I'm even glad I'm seeing this thing.
It's really interesting for kids.
Please, let's not even do that.
7 sound, 3 sounds.
All right, so that is all we'll be able to take on the newspaper review. We are going to go on a very short break and come back with our hot topic for this morning: strikes, negligence, and high cost. The triple crisis of Nigeria's healthcare system. We will be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now let's get into our hot topic for this morning. Our topic for this morning is strikes, negligence, and high cost. The triple crisis of Nigeria's healthcare system that we have really not been paying attention to because of what is really happening. So as we get into today's conversation, you can almost feel the weight in the health sector right now. Doctors are on strike again. And for many Nigerians, this isn't just news. It is their reality. The doctors say they are fighting for better pay, better working conditions, their residency funding, and a system that actually allows them to treat people properly. Government keeps saying we are working on it, but on ground, patients are still stranded, and doctors say nothing concrete has changed. And while the strike is happening, let's not even pretend about the fact that negligence is something that is an issue. Almost every week, a story pops up. Someone rushed to the hospital, and because of delay, carelessness, or lack of proper attention, they never make it out. Some of these cases are under investigation, but for the families, that doesn't bring their loved ones back. Then there is this part that is the hardest. The cost. Healthcare is becoming so expensive. I don't even understand what is happening. I'm just always praying that nothing will happen to me. That even emergencies now come to price tags people cannot meet. Just a few days ago, content creator Niger brand influencer lost her mom, and the hospital reportedly asked she completed the payment of 2.2 million naira before releasing her mother's body. Imagine grieving and still being told, go and bring money. You can't even carry the dead person out of the place. So when you look at the strike, when you look at the negligence and the rising cost, you realize this isn't one isolated problem. It's a triple crisis happening all at once, and that is what we are unpacking this morning. Like the video we are seeing right now, this is the video of a lady on the content creator on Instagram. She's called Sickle Motivator. She's actually a sickle cell anemia patient, and she's really complaining bitterly about the fact that you can imagine if you did surgery some weeks back, but you can't even go to get your stitches out because of the strike, and we are not talking about it. I mean, I understand that the state or the temperament of the nation right now, the word of the nation right now is about insecurity. But let's not forget that these same lives of the people that we are talking about in insecurity is what is also happening in our healthcare system. Now look at this. A sickle cell patient that is even always needing, you need to always be at the hospital. You need to always be get injections. If you know this lady very well, she's always going from one surgery to another. Now imagine completing your surgery and you can't even find the doctor to follow up on your surgery. I've forgotten the name of the surgery that she had, that she can't even go there. Now she's crying, begging that they do something about this. And we cannot keep saying that, okay, go to private hospitals. How many people can afford? We were just talking about Niger brand influencer that lost her mom. This woman did not even spend up to 24 hours in the hospital. Let's not even mention the name of the hospital. This woman did not spend up to 24 hours in the hospital. And you're saying that she should complete the payment. She already paid 1.5 million or 1.7, I'm not even sure. She already paid 1.5 million. And then they're asking her to balance the payment of 1 million naira. This woman did not spend up to 24 hours in that hospital. The woman died. The lady was even crying that if it were to be that mother did not die, she would have still found a way. But my mother died. I will still pay you people 2.2 million naira. For what? And I think what they did for the woman was oxygen. I don't know if oxygen is that expensive. She was trying to break down these expenses. And even the breakdown is a whole lot. I don't understand what is going on with our healthcare sector. I remember then I was going to call my mom to ask her that those days when we are admitted in the hospital, how much were we even paying per night or per bed? I think there was a time that it was maybe around 10,000, 25,000. I don't know how much it is now to actually spend the night to be admitted in the hospital. For some hospitals, some will be at a certain price, while some will be at some other price. So there's just a whole lot for us to look about. But before we even go for that, to each and every one, what do you think about the strike that is going on?
Well, it's necessary for them to go on a strike. But the thing is, right now, I've been saying it over and over on this table that our system, basic needs per se, is food, a healthy environment, healthy living. Now, and even a place to stay, a shelter. If the healthcare sector is crying, there was a time, I think it was last week, we said almost all the sectors are going on strike. You see the education sector, the healthcare sector. The last time we talked about even our abandoned scholars abroad, right? So the real big issue is, this is just the only method they have to bring to limelight that this is the issues they are facing, or this is the things that are going on in the healthcare sector. There are no other better ways they could do this. Strike is the last means of you fighting for what you need or what you want. And it's of the due diligence that the government really need to put this thing as a priority. I mean, if you're ruling a country, because I usually say it, then you okay, like for instance, you're sick, you go out abroad to receive treatment. Why not make the healthcare system a standard or a replica of the hospitals you use abroad and have it here? See, it might even be expensive, but I'm sure that there are some Nigerians that will still be able to afford it. And at least, even if everyone knows that, oh, there's this standard hospital that even the rich people, the politicians are going to, they'll also want to visit. Not that you fly out maybe because you have the resources or anything, and you leave the crumbs. You have dilapidated buildings. I'm sure even if you visit some of our healthcare sectors in different communities, they really don't have good equipment. You see their buildings, even the bed spaces. There was a time I even lamented here that this was even a government-owned state hospital, where a patient that I know that was very close to me receiving chemo on a plastic chair, and this person, even if she was very, very weak, on a plastic chair receiving treatment, which is not even meant to be so. So the thing is, government really needs to come out. As we are fighting insecurity, right? At the same time, we also need to look at the healthcare sector, because when you can't focus extremely on one and leave the others. It's just like you're trying to balance a way. Once you put too much focus, the other one will go there. So you have to make everything balanced. So if as much as possible we are
meanwhile, it is the same federal government that will be begging that doctors should not travel out of the country.
Yes, because
and you're not providing them with what they need.
Nothing.
Look at them on strike
You're not giving them any enticing thing for them to stay within the country. So if I was to be a medical doctor, I also look for a way to jackpot, not jackpot darara. That's just it.
So let's even talk. Let's even look into what they are asking for, because let's not forget that at the end of the day, sometimes it's not even just about these doctors. Most times, it's not just about the doctors and the federal government, because whatever decision the both parties are making, the people that is affected, the people that get to suffer for it are the patients.
There's a saying that when two tougher animals fight, an elephant and another animal fight, what suffers? The grass. Just
like when our politicians are fighting and eating heads against each other, the people that suffer for it are the citizens. Now, it is the same thing with the healthcare sector. And that is why we cannot be silent. Let's even try to see what the doctors are asking for. Maybe we are the one that we are just thinking that why would they go on strike, this, that. Maybe they're asking for things that are really outrageous. Now, I'm going to be listing some of the demands of these doctors. Now, the first one is the immediate release of the 2025 medical residency training form. I'm going to talk about this medical residency, but let me list everything. The second one, payment of long outstanding salary arrears under the government structure. And then a package of welfare and training reforms that would stabilize specialist training and frontline services. Let me start with this medical residency training fund. There is nothing federal government wants to tell me that they have done this, because federal government are coming out to say that that they've granted them some of these things, that they don't know why they are still talking like this. I have a doctor that did, I think he just completed his residency, or maybe he's still doing it. They don't pay them anything. When I mean they don't pay them anything, you know, they are doctors. They don't really have time to do other businesses. Maybe somebody like me. They don't have that time. They are stuck inside the hospital 24 hours, sometimes just 20 hours. Sometimes the only break they can get is in the night. Sometimes some of them don't even get night. And they don't pay these resident doctors at all.
They're not even paying them to compensate.
The only thing they give them in this particular in this situation now, this doctor that I'm saying, it might not even be like that for some other people in some other government hospitals, is that they are giving them accommodation. So what should doctor eat? What should doctors spend?
Even the accommodation, is it a good state? That's even
the accommodation is even great. I actually saw the accommodation. Let me give them that for this particular hospital that I'm talking about.
I also have a friend.
They just built it. Is not good. They just built it. I don't know the former state of what was there before, but this particular one is actually very nice. But accommodation, that's not what I want to eat. Let's not also forget that these same doctors that carry the name DR is what most of us or some people carry about. That I have a friend who is a doctor. I've not given birth yet. Maybe if I have, my son is a doctor. But these people are suffering. These people cannot even eat. They cannot fend themselves. You can imagine medical residency training. It is their parents that are still sending them money. At least their age should be around. Maybe if they got into school like at the age of 17, if they got into university at the age of 17, at least they should be around 24, 25, thereabouts. That's if strike did not even happen to them. Now imagine a grown-up, an adult, having to always go back to their parents for money. When does this really end? And then we are also expecting them to come back to take care of patients. For example, look at sickle cell patients. Not even sickle cell patients. There are some other people. Some people are suffering from particular diseases where they have to be going to the hospitals every time. I know for one that SS patients, some of them have to collect injections every day. Now imagine they are registered under government hospitals. And this particular that lady that was saying, I have seen a video that she said, she went to, I think she went to maybe a private hospital, one hospital, and then they did not do that surgery well, and then it led to some other complications. Let's talk about it is cheaper to go to a government hospital. But now imagine if it is this government hospital that we are talking about.
I even want to draw a notice to that. Now, let's come to hospitals, per se, before we come back to the government and the public hospitals. I just want to put it out there for everyone that not all hospitals treat a particular kind of patient, right? Different hospitals have their specialization. Now, there's a video we played earlier on that talk about a lady that lost, is it their mother or so,
yes.
and they had to pay a large sum of amount. Now, when I researched, right, because I know that there are some hospitals that's fully specialized on some, so that meaning they are well grounded in that area. They could try to take other patients, right, but they might not be able to do or give the best, right, if you had taken that patient to a particular hospital that really deals with such sicknesses or patient. Now, that hospital per se says they specialize on neurosurgery. So I want to bring that out.
This particular hospital that we're talking about, right?
Yes, yes. So what they do is neurosurgery, brain and spine care, dialysis, stroke rehabilitation, and ICU services. But that's what is even stipulated in there. That's what they specialize in. So if you are bringing any other form of illness aside this, you don't expect them to give you 100% of what they can offer. But
does it justify the cost?
I'm not saying justify. I'm just putting out there that in case of next time where we have certain people who wants to take their patient to a particular hospital, find out first, do your findings. This hospital, what do they do best? The hospitals, I don't want to make mention of some hospitals, but there are some hospitals that they're very good at when it comes to removing fibroid. This fibroid surgery, very good, and that's what they specialize basically on. So if you are going there to do something else, imagine you're not going to get what you could have gotten in another hospital that fully specialized on something. So not all hospitals can attend to all sicknesses. That's why you see that some of our even politicians, once they have these heart issues, hole in the heart, they go to India because they know that what they are mostly specialized in such cases. They won't just go to any random hospital to do that. This is just me putting it out there for everyone so that such things won't happen. If you're going to a particular hospital, try and do your findings. What are they very good at? At least they will have success rates, right? Okay, their success rate in so kind of illness. What's their success rate? Is it 100%? Is it 80%? You will get to find at least somebody will say something about it, not just rushing. I know that at times it could be like a dying minute, like the person needs strong attention at that moment. So you just take the patient or your relative to the nearby hospital. But this could also could have also curbed such things, right? And that's why we still even have to go back to our government that they need to do more. Because if you don't do more, the hospitals we are having could be more like an half-baked hospitals where they're not giving you the quality of your money that you've even paid.
So now look at this, because we see different stories, different funny stories of people saying that hospitals are really negligent, and sometimes it's even forced to some of these government hospitals. You get to government hospitals, maybe they know that maybe you don't really have money to go to private hospitals. I mean, the private hospitals owners who are there, that the way they run, the cost of running an hospital, I understand that the cost of running an hospital, the cost of equipment is so high, but when I'm hearing some amounts, it's really ridiculous in my ears. But let's even talk about maybe like government hospitals. You get to some government hospitals, once you get there, they will not even attend to you. When they attend to you, they're the one that they have the effrontery to even be shouting on you.
When they are suffering.
Especially when you are pregnant. It's these pregnant women that even suffer from these people the most. And you know that pregnant women are even going through a lot already. So it's like two people that are going through a lot just met each other, and they are now having like an explosion because nobody wants to grieve for the other. The other person is saying she's going through, a period as a pregnant woman. The other person is saying that, are you the only one? Is this your first time? Let's talk about the way, hospitals take care of these people. Sometimes it's not really nice. You take people to a government hospital, you're rushing in an emergency patient. they don't even get the aid that they need.
But I want to draw your attention to something. Those emergency patients you have in government hospitals, there's even a distinction between them. They will tell you that this one is not as emergency as this one. So why I'm saying this, because personally I have that experience. My dad was taken to one of the general hospitals because he was referred from a private hospital to a general hospital. And it was an urgent case, because I'm going to use my story. We took this, I don't want to make mention of the hospital, it's very popular, a government hospital. We took my dad to that particular hospital. What the nurses were saying, that his own case is not as, it doesn't really need that emergency as they had even labeled it in the other hospital. That some other patient, even their own situation is worse. So they need to even attend to those ones before even come. So it's more like the emergency is like a graded thing. So there's like a first grade, a second grade, a third grade, which is not even supposed to be so. Hospitals, every patient rushing into a particular hospital needs attention, whether it's grade 1 or whatever grade they want to grade it there according to the state of emergency of that particular patient. But you can't even determine the strength of the person, right? The emergency case might not be that serious, but you don't know if that patient could really withstand it at that moment.
Maybe they don't have much people to help them. Maybe that's why some people
have to stay. Part of their 19 standing point of the doctors, that they said they are clamoring for shortages of staffs. And as you see, some doctors, they're always very tired.
Because they're
when you work from 24 hours, 24, even the time of them taking a leave, they'll still even call them for emergency cases. So how do you expect them to even perform better? And that's why they're clamoring that we need to get government, you need to give them more doctors. You need to also look at, revise their wages, their salaries. I don't even know why you should even be having an outstanding payment for doctors that they spend all their whole lives in. More like, let me just use a cubicle in that sense, because it's very, very funny. And when I mean funny, I'm being satirical at this moment. I don't expect that. If even that is even happening in the education sector, we could say, but not doctors.
We could not even say, because we can't even allow that in the education and healthcare sector, because these are the key sectors to the growth, not just the growth, but to the welfare of the nation. If education and healthcare is not sorted out, so what's the point of every other thing? I mean, look at our leaders. Who are they owing salary among them? So how much is the salary of these people that they will be owing them arrears? I'm like, what's going on? If doctors are even talking about strike, one of the things that I don't like seeing as the reason why they are on strike is outstanding payments. Whether doctors or this education ASU, why outstanding payments? Let them even clamor for better pay. Not that you are still owing them the little that you are paying them.
Yeah. And to add into the list to say, because this is like more like we're gradually wrapping up, right? I want the government to do what the doctors have requested. I mean, 19 requests is not so much. The other time when people went for climate meeting there, even those people that were representing the government, they took their families and relatives along. And you paid so much money for them. So this is something that I'm so certain Nigeria have that money, like we have that resources. It's just some certain set of people putting this money and to their own private funds and just to set their family. And just to set, yes, that's just it. We have the money to pay these people. That's just it. What they are requesting for, outstanding salaries and allowances, pay them. Implementation of corrected professional allowance tables.
Pay them.
Addressing manpower shortages through a replacement policy. We've been having several policies. Other points includes reinstatement of terminated doctors. Now, in that case, I don't know what had happened between
those. They terminated the doctors.
So for them to be requesting that they need to reinstate, maybe because of the shortage of manpower you get. Then inclusion of house officers in the civil service scheme. That is even very necessary. Yes. Correction of entry-level placement and payment of specialist allowances. So all this and their other requests, I think we people really need to sit with them, because a lot of patients are dying. I mean, sickle cells, we can't overlook them in the country. It is not even their fault that they came out as
in that situation that they are in. So let's pay attention.
More reason why we should even need to do more orientation to our young ones. These are Gen Zs. When you're getting into marriage, know your genotype.
I mean,
before Nigeria
like
will not
you
happen
said,
to
let's
your
really
children.
focus on the health care. Let's focus on the healthcare. Don't let us forget that doctors are on strike. Because I used to say it, I say it always, that when I see something covering up some other important things on the news, I begin to feel like whether it is a means to actually distract us from another important thing that is happening. You know, something important is happening. Then you use something else that is important.
More intense.
To cover, you know, our attention away from it. And let's even, you know, look into the cost of healthcare. Because in my own opinion, I feel like to be sick, to be ill, to not be feeling fine. I'm not feeling fine. My head is banging. It's not easy. It's a whole lot. Because that my head is banging
can lead to something serious.
If you go to an hospital, the amount of my head is banging. You would think I'm the one that, maybe if I don't work, but I wish I work. I wish I go to work.
Something else and tell you,
healthcare cost is a whole lot. I was looking at the breakdown. There is service charge. There is this one charge. There is the charge for the before, back in the day, what I used to know that used to be included, because my mom worked in the hospital almost all her working life. So what I used to know is that you will pay for bed, that maybe they are admitting you in the hospital. You pay for bed, then the service charge.
Hospitals.
Private hospitals too.
Okay, private hospitals.
I don't just understand what's going on
why
now.
do you want to talk much on
but
private
this
hospitals?
is back in the day.
This
is back in the day. My mom worked in private hospitals. Now you pay for the bed. You pay the service charge, and then you pay for drugs, whether drug or the drip, whatever it is that you're collecting.
Even syringe.
You pay for it, and then they give you your total, and you are going home, and everybody is happy. But now, reverse is the case. There is nothing they don't add to the breakdown of the things that they put together, and then they're bringing the total cost, and you're wondering that, is it a crime to be ill? Is it a crime for something to be wrong with me in my health? And then I'm going to see a doctor, or I'm going to see someone. So the rising cost, but I don't really know if there is something that can be done to the rising cost, or how it can really be stabilized.
The government can do something to
especially with cost. Private hospitals. Because private hospitals will tell you that you did not help them, you did not give them money.
Well, that's why they are private, because some private hospitals have really spent a lot of amounts to get some facilities and equipment to equip their hospitals. The federal government, imagine them transporting one big, large machine, and they will still pay at the what do you call it? Yes, at the border. They will still pay for it. The government is not going to say that, oh, because you are trying to also improve the healthcare system in the country, okay, now you can clear it for free. No. So they also have to get their money back.
I mean, if we look at this case of Naija brand influencer, that lady was on live for over 1 hour. And these people did not release the body. You know when you just lost somebody and the body of the body of the person you lost, they are busy dragging the body.
They do that.
Where is my mother? Where is my mother's body? Is there. They will not allow her to enter.
Till you pay.
By the time she was even able to take the body outside, ambulance, let me carry my mother. She was unable to carry my mother. Look at dead person. I'm like, is it because of money that we are not even we don't even value, or we don't even esteem the fact that this is a dead body we are talking about? So that's why this thing is scaring me. That
I wanted to tell you,
these people don't even care that whether a dead body or not.
When there's a dead body, especially in hospitals, because I experienced that, if you have not cleared your bills, they won't allow you to take that corpse. And do you know why? If you end up not even clearing your bills, that corpse belongs to them automatically. And you know what they will end up using? Probably they can use that as cadaver for schools, or they will sell it. Even
and also
the amount
they own the rights to the death certificate. So
yes.
If you don't clear them, they will not give you your death certificate. So I just think there should be a balance. And also, one thing I really want to mention is that we need to work on our health insurance as a country. The federal government really needs to work on our health insurance as a country. If we are really working on our health insurance, it will help both private and state governments.
Of course.
So that way, the money you are paying is not as much. And even if it is as much, there is like an insurance policy, an insurance system that can help. For example, in this type of situation now, she can still release her baby. I said a baby. Her mother can still go. They know that there is a way to actually get the money back from the system of insurance, even if she doesn't pay. It works like this outside the country, but I don't know what's going on in our own country. What's the the last thing you want to say before we call it a wrap?
Please, I'll just put it out there that the government should do better than this, right? That's why we have government hospitals to make healthcare free, almost zero amount for them to get the best and get a good health, because healthy living is a healthy citizen and a healthy nation. Let me put it that way.
So as you go about your day, remember that your health is really, really precious. Access is vital and accountability is non-negotiable. And that's it for Ways Breakfast for this morning. Thank you for deciding to spend your morning with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. And we're going to see you again tomorrow morning. Bye for now.